There we go. So, yeah, if you go to David Rowcliffe, my YouTube channel, you're going to see last week's lecture, and probably most of today's. But yeah, we're going, dude. We're hitting it hard. If you want, I can stay after, and you can take pictures of the pages we've gone through.
Okay, so I don't need to write this down right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to write everything on the screen down.
What I would do, Tony, at this point is why don't you take a picture of it with your camera, and we'll go to the next page because we're ready to move to the next page pretty quick.
Thank you.
Okay, the fuel rail is made of steel. Yeah?
Yes.
Why?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
deal with fuel, which is scary, and it's also fuel under high pressure. And
It
then
dries metals real quick.
1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the injectors. What's the full name of the injectors? Fuel injectors.
Ew.
In fact, they're going to be port fuel injectors. Which port? Intake port or exhaust port?
Intake.
Intake.
Intake. Good. Yeah. So they're going to be in the intake port, and they're going to be shooting right at the back of the intake valve. Now, what's that going to do to the temperature of the intake valve?
Lower.
Rise.
And increase it.
No, decrease it.
Cool it.
Yeah, it's going to cool it down.
Oh, it's going to cool it because it's on the intake. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all that, I mean, I'm not saying the fuel's cold. It's probably 115 degrees maybe, depending on conditions. I'm not saying it's cold, but it's way colder than the valves are. I mean, remember from our lesson from last week how we talked about burnt valves? Burnt valve is always what kind of valve?
Exhaust.
Yep. Yep. Unless the adjustment is so far out of whack that the valve never hits the seat. Why do we adjust valves, Michelle?
So you have clearance,
Thank you. What is clearance?
so you can get through it.
Clearance
Right.
is defined as the space between parts, right? Yeah.
What'd you say?
Gap, the
Parts.
distance between two parts or the gap between two parts.
Yep. Yeah, we need to have space between two parts because when these things get hot, what are they going to do?
Expand.
Yeah, they're going to expand. They're going to get longer. So we need to make sure that that valve hits the seat because remember, that's how it gets rid of the vast majority of its heat. And if you don't get rid of that heat, it's going to burn the valve and then you're going to be very, very sad.
Okay.
So the port fuel injectors are going to spray fuel right on the back of the intake valve. During what stroke?
Intake. I mean,
That's correct.
downward stroke.
Power.
Yep. Intake. No, intake.
No, intake stroke.
Intake stroke. Piston's coming down. Intake valve is open. It's sucking a bunch of air in, and we're going to squirt a bunch of fuel in with the air. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
No, I forgot. But what happens after the intake stroke?
Compression.
Why do we have a compression stroke?
To change the pressure so that it can ignite.
Compression.
Well, it'll ignite.
To compress the mixture so it can fire.
Yeah.
Well, it'll fire anyway, but it'll fire a lot more efficiently if we change all those fuel droplets into a vapor.
Into
Yeah.
the vapor.
The whole purpose of the compression stroke is to increase the pressure because that increases the temperature and that's going to vaporize all that fuel, make it much more explosive. And it's going to give us better performance and better emissions as well. All right, so
Wait,
right
it
here we
just
have-
changes the property?
pardon?
It changes the property of it?
Changes the phase. Yeah, it does. At least it's better. All right, so how many injectors do we have?
4.
Depends on the number of cylinders you have.
Well,
Yeah, one per cylinder. Right.
Wow.
Good. Okay. Good.
well,
Okay, now this little O-ring right here, do you know what an O-ring is? An O-ring is simply a piece of black rubber, round rubber, looks like that. You know why they call it an O-ring?
Because it looks like an O.
O.
Because it looks like an O. Yeah. Who dares?
Yeah.
Okay, so you ready for next page?
Yep.
Okay. This O-ring is super important because what this O-ring does is it seals the hole in the intake manifold where the injector goes. And if that leaks, you're going to get a lot of air coming in this way, which is going to make your mixture do what?
Lean.
Yeah, it's going to make your mixture go lean. In fact, this is the problem that Rudy has on the Cobra. On the front right cylinder, it's got some kind of leak. That's why we went in there and we replaced all these O-rings, but that didn't fix it. The problem, I believe, is the intake manifold gasket. If it was me, I would just get a bunch of Permatex and just freaking smear it around that intake manifold and call it a day. Where it meets the head. It's a terrible way to fix it, but I'm a terrible person.
Have you ordered the Permatex for me, Rowcliffe? You said you were going to order it because you know the exact one you wanted to get.
God damn it. That's it. So here's what you want to use. Stuff. Permatex 2B, which is non-hardening. Don't get the stuff that gets hard. Non-hardening. Get this stuff. I use this for 40 years and I've never had a failure. And that's huge, you know. So Permatex 2B, I think they changed the part number on it, so it's not 2B anymore. Maybe it's just B or blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Whatever it is, get the Permatex non-hardening, and it's going to be brown. A lot of people like to use RTV all over the place, but not me. RTV scares me because I was using it back when it was freaking worthless, and it caused a lot of failures. So I'm not into it. Now, Tony, tell us about this scan tool issue.
So I know we ran a scan on my vehicle.
Which one?
It was the BMW, and it was that I had a problem with the it was a P044 if I'm not mistaken, and a P0441, and as it turns out, the code was reading various things, one of which was evaporative emission system purge, control valve, circuit open, and evaporative emission system incorrect purge flow.
Yeah. Well, the first one causes the second one, right?
Oh, okay. 444 causes 441.
No, the open in the purge control valve is what causes the purge flow to be incorrect. Is that true, Chuck?
Yes.
Well, I mean, that valve opens at certain RPM to let the gases, relieve the gases on from the canister.
Yep. Or at least it's supposed to.
It's
Right.
not RPM, it's certain conditions.
Yeah, enable criteria, right?
Yep.
Okay, so this comes out like this. And this comes out like that. That is a solenoid valve. And the reason I'm doing this is because this is exactly how a fuel injector works too, so it's kind of useful.
That's P0444, not P0440.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's all evap.
Okay.
Okay, so what year?
02.
Fortunately, it's not a BMW 2002. Okay, so solenoid valve. Look, you've got all of these wraps of wire around a steel shaft, and that in itself is a valve. You know, so it's the exact same thing as a fuel injector as well, which is funny. Now, we're going to have B plus come into this, and that's going to be hot with ignition. On or off?
On.
On. Yep. It's only going to get 12 volts when we've got the ignition on. Now over here we got the PCM attaching to this, and then what's that?
The powertrain control module.
That's the powertrain
PCM.
control module. Okay, good. What's this?
That is the on and off switch right there.
Nope,
Ground.
that's ground.
Oh, it's ground.
So look, I've got 12 volts here. I need to have 0 volts here, which means it's got to be connected to the ground. So what the PCM is doing is it's controlling the path to ground. Now, once I have ground here, I got 12 volts across this coil, which means will there be current flow?
Yes.
Good. How much?
12.
Enough, but not too much.
Right. So what controls the amount of current in a 12 volt circuit? That's a good question.
Resistance.
What?
Resistance.
What?
Resistance.
That is very correct. Good for you. Yeah, it's simple Ohm's law stuff. But yeah, so what happens is the number one killer of solenoid valves is going open. Number one killer. Oh, shoot. Number one. God, that's it. Number one killer is heat. This is back to the old East Los days. Heat from the outside or heat from the inside?
Both.
Inside.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This is very small wire, right? We're very small wire here so that we can get a lot of turns so that we can create a strong magnetic field. But the problem with very small wire is ampacity. Ampacity is defined as what?
Capacity.
What it can
Amperage
handle?
capacity.
Capacity. And the problem is very small wires can't carry too many amps. Because what happens to a wire when you get it too hot?
It melts.
Yeah, it just melts.
Yeah.
It just opens up. And boop. Wait, I can do it that way.
Tony,
So the
Tony,
number one killer of these things is heat, and having an open is the number one failure. And Tony, I'm not saying this is your problem, but it probably is. Number one killer is heat. You got two types of heat. Now, two types of heat. I told you should be here, Tony. Two types of heat. There's ambient.
and radiant.
Woo! What does ambient mean?
Like in the background, like just
Outside.
around normal
Yeah, just
heat.
around. Good. And then there's
Internal.
from current equals I squared R. What's I?
Amp.
Yep. What's R?
Resistance.
Resistance.
Good. Now, uh-oh. Am I going to make it? God damn it. Well, there goes teacher of the year. Now, what you have to watch out for, though, folks, anytime you look at a formula and it's got a squared right there, you need to watch out. You know, like E equals MC squared. Squared is a big deal. And sometimes you'll see cubed, and very rarely you'll see to the fourth power. But whatever it is, you can see that this gets big really, really fast. So heat from current. So these wires don't know whether the heat's coming from the current or from the ambient. They don't know, and they don't care. All they know is when I get too much heat, I just melt. Now, want me to show you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll show you. Okay. You got that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Take a
Yeah.
picture of it, whatever. How you doing, Tony?
So far, so good. I drew it all out.
Good.
Hold on. That's Abel calling me.
Good. Tell me he needs to be here.
Abel, Cliff said you need to be here on Zoom.
Yeah, he
Hey,
does.
Tony, tell him I
Oh.
text him the class info.
He said he says he can't get on.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
I don't know. I've been trying to get in, but it won't let me in.
I don't believe you.
Hey, Tony, Tony, tell him I'm going to call him right now.
Yeah,
Huh?
Rudy will walk you through it.
Rudy's gonna call you right now. Walk you through it.
Okay, look.
All right. Bye.
This one's for you, Chuck, because I love you. This thing right here is a coil. Coils have windings. Now, whether this is just a coil or a solenoid or a transformer or a relay, seems like I'm missing one. Yeah, I'm sure I'll figure it out later. Whatever you do, these are inductive devices, which is just a fancy way of saying they work by electromagnetism and using the coil. Electromagnetism. Electromagnetism is the relationship between electricity and magnetism, right?
Mhm.
So we have these coil windings, whether it's a coil, solenoid, transformer, relay, they all have coils in them. And since this is just a long piece of wire, it has what characteristics?
Resistance.
You bet. Good. Now,
Minor.
when we're checking for resistance, we're not using a powered circuit, right? Right?
Right.
So what I
Right.
would do is I would disconnect the purge control valve, and I would come in and find the two coil wires. What are you going to do, Chuck? What's next?
You're gonna meter across it?
What kind of meter?
Ohm meter?
That is correct. Good.
Bill Cliff, let Tony in.
Oh, shit, there's a couple people. Thank you.
And would you say, hold on. Oops, shit. What did you do? Oh, how did that go? Hey, get back over here.
Rudy got kicked off too.
No, I didn't. I joined with my cell phone with Tony.
Oh,
With Abel.
okay. Hey, well, what's going on, bud?
What's up, Abel?
All right, dude. Oh, shoot. I got to unmute him first.
Okay, Abel, you got it?
Yeah, but I can barely hear you. Let me see how to get this
Hey,
whole
bro.
thing to work.
How are you, bud? We missed you.
Okay, Abel, I hung up the phone with you, so you and I are just on this video now.
All right, sounds good.
There you go. Yeah, you're coming through loud and clear, bud.
Thank you, thank you.
Thanks for coming, man. Good to see you.
Yes, sir. Good to see you. I like the do-rag.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's my, yeah, I didn't want my hair to get coronavirus. Didn't want my hair to get
Classic.
coronavirus.
That's
how
right.
Coronavirus. How do you get everybody to show their screen? View options.
I think it just randomly scrolls through.
No, what you do is you come up where your picture is. You'll see that it's got one tile, a bigger tile, two tiles, and then 9 tiles. If you
Oh,
click the 9 tiles,
No,
everybody.
he's on a cell phone. It's not the same.
No.
And then just swipe your finger.
Yeah, so Tony, Abel,
Yeah.
you either go with the one that shows his notebook with all the info on it,
Yeah.
or you click on the little picture in the corner to go to where it rotates through everyone's camera.
hey, Chuck,
Yeah.
were you saying you put an ohm meter to that because it has resistance?
Yes, sir.
Or if you swipe to the right, you can go to where you can see everyone's camera individually.
Got it.
But I would recommend you leave it on the screen that has his notebook.
Yeah, his notepad. Yeah, that's what I'm using right now.
And now, go into the little button on the side that says more.
Little button that says more. Yeah.
Chat.
Chat.
Click on it. Make sure you sign in.
Okay, got it.
Just go in there, type your name, and that way he has a record that you were in class tonight.
Got it. Okay, cool. Will the password and everything be the same?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
That's why I texted them to you earlier.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I was trying to get in, but it wouldn't let me in. It was getting stuck.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because you were overloading it.
Yeah, your picture's stuck right now. Is your Wi-Fi weak?
No, I was signing in.
Okay, are you using a phone or a computer?
Phone.
Okay, well, Rudy's the expert on that. I'm on computer, so I don't know about that. But I know about this.
That's right.
I'm using an ohmmeter, right? What's the rule on using an ohmmeter?
Disconnect it from any power.
Never use an ohmmeter on a powered circuit. Yep. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to use an ohmmeter. Now, I've got a red lead here and I got a black lead here. Does it matter if I switch them around?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
No.
No,
No, it doesn't.
not on ohms.
Ohm is not polarized.
Okay.
So anyway I want to switch it, I'm going to be fine. Now, what I'm looking for, I mean, I don't know how many ohms it's supposed to be. I mean, it may be 40, it may be 300. But I'm looking for some kind of resistance reading. And that's going to tell me that the coil's okay. Now, if the coil's okay, the valve probably works. Speaking of which, Chuck, how many volts go to that solenoid?
Which cylinder we're talking about? Fuel injection or the evap?
Either one. Both.
Well, depending on the schematic, it should be
Nope,
under 12 volts.
Yeah, all your solenoid's going to be 12 volts as far as I know. All your solenoid's going to be 12 volts. Okay,
It'll
so,
be the amount of amperage that's controlled.
okay, Chuck, I'll do this for you. Look, on a computer power supply, you got 5 volts, you got 12 volts, right?
Mm-hmm.
The 12 volts goes to all the motor circuits, which is to say like the disk drive and the hard disk. 12 volts and the fan. 12 volts
Mhm.
goes to all the motor circuits. 5 volts goes to all the information circuits. So 5 volts is the standard for all your information circuits, which is why on a car, your sensors are all going to be 5 volts, but your actuators are all going to be 12.
Okay.
Love you, Chuck.
All right.
I thought you'd like that. Makes sense though, doesn't it?
That's right.
Now, Chuck, just because we're on this topic, the later power supplies came down to 3.3 volts. They cut the voltage. Do you know why?
Because the processor, the CPU, was probably sensitive to the voltage.
No,
would
what
think.
happened was they were getting the traces so close together that
Okay.
with 5 volts it would arc.
Okay.
So they cut the voltage down so they could get all the traces closer together. For the
Makes
rest of you
sense.
guys, yeah, the trace is the part on the circuit board where electricity flows inside the integrated circuit, the really small thing. Yeah, 5 volts was too high, so they cut down the voltage so they could get the stuff closer together. Anyways, the point I was trying to make was,
12 volts was too high.
well, 12 volts for motor circuits. Remember, 12 volts is for motor circuits, 5 volts is for information circuits.
Yeah.
And this is a motor circuit. This is an actuator, right? This is an actuator. Now, what does this report to the computer?
Whether it's open or closed?
Actuators don't report anything. All they do is do stuff, act, right? Now, how does the evap purge control work? Well, what they're going to do is they're going to stick a vacuum to the fuel tank with a pressure sensor in the fuel tank, and they're going to draw down the pressure in the fuel tank. And then they're going to check to see if the pressure comes back up, signifying that there's a leak in the system somewhere. Yeah? Make sense?
That's why when you open your gas cap, it goes tss.
On some cars, yeah. Okay, now, how do you know if the purge controlled valve works? Because you've got a pressure sensor in the tank. And when the purge valve opens, what should happen to the pressure?
Should plummet.
It should go away. Now, if you send a signal to open this and the pressure doesn't go away, then it's not working. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Now, the reason could be electrical, the reason could be, physical, but, just because it works electrically doesn't necessarily mean that it works.
Physically.
The valve actually comes out, but it's a good indicator. Let's see. Okay, so you ready to turn the page?
Wait, so you can send a signal to tell it to do it using the ohm meter?
No.
Oh,
No, but I'll
What
bet
you're
you I can
measuring with the ohm meter is the resistance across that solenoid.
well, because look, your code said that there was an open in the circuit, right?
yes.
Well, what does an open mean?
Means
open
it's
means-
not a complete circuit.
Yeah, it's not making a complete. There's no continuity.
There's no contact.
Yep, this is an open.
See, Abel, you see how he's continuously drawing?
Yeah,
That's why I tell you to keep it on the notepad.
yeah, that's why I'm watching it.
Yeah, and then you have the circulating picture down the corner.
Yeah,
Okay.
See,
Open
and
is-
I'm doing just the opposite.
Yeah. Open is the number one cause of failure in these coils. Too much heat. Yeah, that's the wire. This is an open. So what kind of resistance does it have?
Really high,
In fact,
infinite.
high resistance. In fact, this resistance is so high that it is
Infinite.
infinite resistance. Infinite. Well, if we study the Greek, we know that infinite means that it's a number so big we can't even count it. Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Now, if there's
Tony-
infinite resistance, how much current are we going to have?
none.
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 Yeah. In fact, that might be how they're checking to see if it has an open. I'll bet you it is. But are you done with this page?
That's all that,
Yeah.
this is, I pulled that up on here. Well, let's see here.
Tony,
Does that look familiar, Road Cliff?
There you go. Evaporative emission system incorrect purge flow. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. What does it mean to purge something?
That's the other one.
Purgando.
So there's
Get
two.
rid of-
Let it come out or whatever.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, purgando. When I'm purgando los frenos, what am I doing?
bleeding the brake.
Bleeding the brakes, right? When to purge something means to get rid of something, like
yeah,
the purge.
let it out.
Yeah. So
Tony,
Yep.
what your multimeter is going to tell you is OL.
That's right.
OL?
if
So
you
to test
have,
it, and the multimeter says OL, it says means out of limit.
if you have infinite resistance, ohm meter will read OL, means out of limits. It's so high your meter can't even
Begin to calculate it.
indicate it. Yeah. Okay. So if I have infinite resistance, how much current flow am I going to have?
0.
0. And if I have 0 current flow, is my solenoid going to energize?
Nope.
Nope. And if my solenoid doesn't energize, is my purge flow going to be correct?
Nope.
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 That's how it works.
So then the fix to this would be to,
Replace the purge valve.
Buy new
Only if you get infinite resistance, right?
well, what I
That's
did,
after you checked it and you verified that that's the problem.
right. So I think we tried to figure that out in class. So we know my purge valve works because Mr. Rowe,
Oh, that's right, huh?
yeah, he checked it. So I went ahead and then I went ahead and did some further research on it, and it read that it could also be caused from a faulty gas cap. Whereas
Okay.
the gas cap has
Open.
where, huh?
Now, that will cause your purge flow to be incorrect. Although I would expect you to get a 441 or a 456, but
I
that's
did.
possible, but really improbable. Purge flow is something else.
Yeah, I got a 441 and a 444.
What's a 444?
A 444 is evaporative emission system purge control valve circuit open.
Yeah. Well, that's a bigger problem. I hate to tell you, but that's a bigger problem.
It is?
Yeah. Got a B+ here. Going into the computer, the PCM. Let's
Tony, that also could be a dirty ground too.
Oh, really?
Sure. Oh, I can't move this, huh? Okay.
And BMWs are notorious for ground issues. No,
Really?
because their grounds are all over the place. They're notorious for having ground issues.
And then I'm going to come in here with my B+ when hot.
That means ignition is on.
Yep. And the PCM, I think it's ground side switched. I would expect it to be ground side switched, but it could be elsewise. Then what you have to do, my friends, what are you going to do, Chuck?
Well, after you ohm it out, if it checks out, you check for voltage. If the voltage is there, my own feeling, I would probably run that smoke machine and see where that vacuum line goes to that solenoid, pump it full of smoke, and actually see if that valve is passing the smoke through.
Yeah, but that's not going to cause a purge valve circuit open.
Well, what about in the gas tank that detects the pressure? Is there an electrical connector there?
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. What I would do, the first thing I do is I'm going to follow Rudy's counsel, because I think that's a good one. First thing I would do is I would check to see the ground.
Yeah.
And I would check to see the voltage, because, you know, this problem can be caused by, I hate to say it, but it can be caused by a break in the wire.
Yeah, broken wire.
And
Yeah.
if that happens, you're talking about rewiring that.
Yeah, but looking at the schematic, wouldn't there be a 12-volt drop at
Sure.
that solenoid?
Yeah, there should be.
Depending on if it's a ground side switch.
Well, this is the way it'd be with a ground side switch. If it was, okay, here you go.
And if it happened to ground out, that thing would always be open.
Mm.
So your ohmmeter would read something different if there's a break in the switch?
If the switch itself is bad, it's going to read OL, out of limit.
Oh, okay.
Now, what you can do is, if you have little alligator clips, you can connect a wire to each alligator clip, run one to the battery positive, and touch the negative, and you'll hear the thing go click, click, click.
Well, yeah, but we already did that. I'm remembering now. We did that. We did that with a power probe. We checked the valve. The valve works. And not only did we check the valve electrically, but we also checked it. Is that true, Tony?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So I would suspect something like this, or I would suspect a bad connection.
I think it's going to be a bad ground somewhere.
Yeah. So what I would do is I would get on ProDemand and I would look up the schematic to see if it's ground side switch or hot side switch.
Abel, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Now, Chuck, here's the thing. EVAP's not running all the time, right? The purge valve is not energized all the time. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go into the scan tool and command the purge valve open, and then check for voltage, yeah? Or check for a ground, depending on how it is.
Any
That's
scan
when-
tool will do that?
Coronavirus.
No.
Yes.
Oh my God. All right.
what's kind of getting me is that the code said that the possible fuel gas cap is not working. So
Yeah.
that kind of really points you towards there's a leak somewhere.
Well, yeah, but when you have a gas cap problem, usually it's what is it? Evap system large leak or evap system small leak.
Mm-hmm.
What codes he's getting is purge flow incorrect. Now that could be, Rudy's absolutely correct. That could be a bad ground. In fact, I would suspect that, or it could be a bad 12 volts, or it could be a bad connector. But whatever it is, it's not the easy fix. You know, it takes some skill at that point. But the key to developing that skill is going through this kind of instruction. You're not gonna learn that on the job. You're not gonna learn that working on cars.
Hey,
That's-
Mr. Rollcliffe, can you move your booklet up a little bit so you can see the bottom? Ah, okay, hot side switch.
What does the schematic say? Is there a ground to the gas tank?
Are you talking to me?
I'm just asking that question.
Oh,
Is there a ground to the gas tank? Or is the schematic going to show where the grounds are at?
The schematic's going to show you where all the grounds are located.
I don't believe you.
Far.
I don't believe, at least on GMs, it doesn't show you where they're located. It shows you what they are, but it doesn't show you where they're located. That's a different page.
But it gives you where the units are located, and then you just go to that section and start looking.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll believe that.
Like, for example, your PCM, it'll tell you your PCM is located under passenger seat.
Yeah, that's
So
the
at that
component
point, you
locator. That's different.
Your seat out and start looking around under all the carpet to find the ground.
One more question. Is there any service bulletins relating to that?
Now that's the other thing. Tony, have you checked that out?
yeah, no, I checked my service bulletin. Well, you know what? I didn't check my service bulletins, but I got a service bulletin, but it didn't cover this. No, I can check it. Anybody know the place to check service bulletins on
Road
this?
Demand usually has some bulletins. Or
Road
Road
Demand
Cliff knows.
Throw the man.
Okay.
Speaking of which, Tony T, have you been on Google Classroom in the 3 weeks you've been out of school?
You know what? Apparently everybody else has.
Huh.
I didn't even know about it. How are we supposed to know about it?
It was
'Cause
written
you're
on the.
supposed to give me a valid email address.
Yeah, I've always had the same email address.
I know, but yeah, Chafee Adult School wrote a bunch of them down wrong.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, Tony, I'm going to send you a picture right now.
No, I haven't been on it.
Well, you should be,
Tony, I'm going to send you a picture right now.
Okay.
because Todd Haig said he was not averse to having makeup sessions after this is all done, but he's not going to do that if there's only 3 students. So we're actually doing pretty well tonight. We got 12. What's up with Andrew Heeks? What's up with Daryl? What's up with all kinds of people?
Tony, what's your last name?
Tredemus.
Who?
Okay. I got to fix your contact.
Okay, you done with this?
I'm gonna send you a text. Yeah, I'm done with that.
Okay.
Just sent you the picture.
All right. Are we back to fuel systems?
Yep.
Okay. So the fuel rail is right here. On most of them, at least the old ones, they used to have the fuel pressure regulator. Hope that wasn't you. There you go. Guess what the fuel pressure regulator does?
Regulates the
Regulation.
pressure of the
The
fuel.
fuel pressure.
Yeah, regulates the fuel pressure. Good. Okay. Why do we want to regulate the fuel pressure? Because when
After the injectors.
yeah, it's located after the injector, so all the injectors get the same pressure. But The reason we want to regulate that fuel pressure is because we don't want to be running that pump full blast all the time. Why not?
Because it's too much.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's like drinking a bunch of coffee all the time and jack up your heart.
Mhm.
Or smoking a bunch of cigarettes all the time. Well, any kind of stimulants, really. Nan, you okay? Nan's still here.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Good, good. Glad you're here. You all right? So, the point I was trying to make was that the fuel pressure regulator is there to lower the fuel pressure when we don't really need high fuel pressure. Now, when do we need high fuel pressure?
When we're going fast.
Under heavy load.
Oh,
Yeah. Acceleration.
Yep.
Yeah.
We only need high fuel pressure under high speed, high load conditions.
Tony, I don't have your email.
Tomas, you doing okay?
Yes.
Good. Okay. All right. Guys, you need to get on Google Classroom. I need to, tell you what, go on Google Classroom and sign in all the sign-in sheets from the beginning of time, right? Because we need to have a big active group here. That way we can get makeup lessons and I can get paid. Both would be nice.
Oh,
I've seen the list, but I don't see my name on the list.
Yeah, you have to put your name on it, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an
All right.
Excel spreadsheet. You just have to put your name on it. There you go.
Yeah.
Then what
Jay,
happens when you put your name on it?
What's it, what?
What happens after you enter your name? How do we submit it to you?
That's all you have to do because under the document it says students can edit. So all you have to do is put your name on it and it's automatically saved.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah. I need the link also on that Google Classroom.
Okay, I'll send it to you
Yeah.
right now, Jim.
Okay.
Send me
Okay.
the link too, because I'm not sure where that's at.
Yeah, I'm working on you right now, Tony.
You
Okay.
don't need the link. You just need the code.
Okay.
The code is
I'm
HH.
working on that with you right now, Tony.
Anybody got the code handy? It's
I can
HH
find
something.
it.
I'll say what?
I can find it for you.
HH something.
Oh,
Well,
wow, it's after 9, huh?
It's HH3XC3S.
What?
Okay, say that slowly and loud again, please.
Yes.
HH3XC3S.
Yep.
Right?
3XC3S.
Jim, I'm going to send you the pic right now.
Kitty.
Well, let me show you. Let's kind of shift gears a little. Come down here to new share. I'm going to go to basic. I'm going to go here. And I'm going to go to.
There, Jim, I just text you the picture.
Okay,
That's
good.
it
Thanks.
Right there. Can you see it?
Holy cow. Okay. HH. Oh. 3XC3S. Got it.
It's
all
Harry 3, Xavier Charlie 3, Sam.
Yep.
Okay, Tony, I just emailed you that picture.
Okay, Google Classroom. I don't know what the hell that is.
Oh, there I am. I see myself right there.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I can do is I can come here to grades and I say, what about my
Missing.
How do you get to Google Classroom?
I gotta go.
Click on Google Classroom.
Nan and do?
I'm on
Google
Google.
Classroom.
Charles Reyna. See? You got to be like Luventino, man. Making it happen. Jimmy, get this handled. I don't know.
Am I even on there?
I don't know if I sent you my homework right on there.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got to do it right.
I
Yeah, I
don't think
wasn't sure.
I'm even on your list.
So, guys, well, that's because you haven't gotten on the list. You have to. Okay, so go to stream. That's it, and then it says do.
I get your emails every day.
Well, why don't you ever do anything about them? Classwork, right there.
Okay, right there. All
See?
right.
So you go to
Classwork, okay.
attendance, then it says sign-in sheet right there.
Mm.
So I need to go back and then sign in on those days I didn't do it then?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the wrong sign-in sheet.
That's what I see all the time.
Is there an app, or I mean, what do you call it for Google's, whatever you call it, classroom?
Classroom? No.
How do you get there?
How do you get there?
To Google Class.
I'm not even on the sheet.
That's because you never sign in. What the hell?
Yeah, because I didn't know we were doing class online. Google Classrooms?
Yes,
I
it's Google
sent
Classroom. It's like a
95 emails,
green
dude.
app, whatever,
Uh,
in yellow.
Google Classroom sign in.
Okay, so where do I go here? Sign in Google accounts? Or this one?
That one.
Probably that one.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Problem
Okay.
is, I get the teacher version because I'm already signed in.
So do we just hit plus?
You're so loud.
Join a class?
Yeah.
Go to Classroom.
What is the hell?
Or join the class, then you input his code.
Dip from the thing. Okay, ask your teacher for the class code.
That was the HH one, isn't
Okay.
it?
HH3.
X.
XC3S. See that?
X3S.
Yep.
Join.
Too easy.
Okay, CAS Auto Spring.
That's it, boo.
Okay, so now I see a bunch of Texas in here.
Yep.
How do I get to your sign? Oh, here we go. Classwork.
Yeah.
View your worksheets, attendance. Okay.
Yeah.
And then 4220 sign-in sheet.
Yeah. There's also technical videos, all kinds of stuff. There's a sign sheet for 319. Man, it's been a while.
Permission. Ask the owner for access or switch to an account with permission. You're currently signed in as Andonios Tradimus at Chaffee Joint Union High School District.net.
What?
Right.
So I switch account?
I don't know.
Yeah, because
I don't know that
apparently
part
I'm
of it.
signed in. Okay, yeah, because I was signed in on my work email.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go back and do that.
So I have a list of all the students. So what do I just find my name and tap it or something?
No, you just add your name to the list. Is that an
Oh.
Excel spreadsheet?
It is.
Yeah, so you go to the bottom and add your name.
Sheet 1, sheet 2.
But from now on, that sheet's going to be just for Chaffee Adult School only. So it's only going to have, 12 people on it, whatever.
Open Safari. Sign in to continue.
Now, I'd show you how to sign into Pro Demand, but since this is going to be on YouTube, I don't want to give everybody the...
Oh, I got it already.
All right. You know what time it is?
Yeah, it is 9:18.
Yeah, it's 20 after 9.
Yeah.
Night, night.
You know what? This is by far the best part of my week.
iPhone 8.
The whole rest of my week pretty much sucks, but man, I had a good time tonight.
I like it too. Thank you.
I sure appreciate it, guys.
All
Yeah,
right.
thank you.
All right, Dave.
All right, everyone. Stay safe.
I'll
Don't
see
forget
you.
to wash your hands.
Cliff.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody go
Guys.
wash your hands.
Hey, Mo, you made it.
Bye-bye.
You made it.
Bye.
I'm so glad you're here, guys. Have a
Thank
great
you,
night.
thank you.
Later.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Kitty.
Right there. Good night, guys.
Still
Thank
on
you.
there.
Night.
You get off.
Thanks so much.